Hey everyone, Mr. Squiggly here, and this video is going to be about our system menu in VRCHat. Here's where we store settings and preferences over your account, and there's certainly things in here that you might want to adjust. So let's go take a look at it. So first I open up my quick menu. I've got a button on my controller for that. If you're using the keyboard, it'll be the escape key. Here it is, and let's open up system menu right on the top right here. Okay, so lots of stuff here, but don't worry, I'm going to talk you through it all. So we've got input support and hand controller. Those both set the sort of inputs that I can use to control VRCHat with. Generally, you don't actually need to fool around with this too much. When I'm playing in VR, I've got all the controls I would expect, and when I'm playing on desktop, I've got all the controls I would expect there too. But you can adjust this if you need to. What is more important, I think, is locomotion. And we have two settings for that, third person and classic. I prefer classic, but third person is actually what we start you with here in VRCHat. So let's take a look at that. All right, so I've got the menu closed. So now I can move around. And here we go. So that's actually me. That's my avatar moving around VRCHat, chasing the little green arc there. And when I release the button, I'm going to pop over there. Poof. Okay, so now my viewpoint is popped back into my avatar. So what this does is this lets me move around, and I pop locations with my viewpoint, and so my viewpoint is never slowly moving along, which can set off motion sickness in some people. But I'm not bothered by that, so I like the classic. All right, so now I'm in classic locomotion, and now I move around by pushing my touchpad. On a keyboard, I would be using the W, A, S, and D keys to move around. So this gets me around quicker, but can also cause motion sickness. All right, let's continue. All right, voice options. The important one here, I think, really is toggle voice. And since I'm using VR gear, that's actually not something I can turn on or off. But if you're on a desktop, then you can. And so what toggle voice does is if you have it checked right now, it means when you hit the microphone button, it turns your microphone on. And then when you hit the microphone button again, it turns your microphone off. If I uncheck toggle voice, I go into what's called basically a push-to-talk system. And in push-to-talk, if I push my microphone button down, then my microphone is on. And then when I release the button, then my microphone is off. And this keeps the microphone off most of the time, which can be really useful if you're playing with speakers that might be feeding back into your microphone, or if there's a lot of background noise in your room. You probably don't want the microphone on unless you're actually talking, and that way you're not broadcasting weird noises to other people in VRChat land. We have other options. Personal space here, I think, is the most important of those. So if personal space is checked, like it is by default, when another avatar comes really close to me, they stop drawing. And so it actually can be disconcerting in VR to have someone like getting right up in your face. And so with the personal space, that makes that not happen. But if you're not bothered by that, and especially if you're on desktop, you may just want to check that off. We have audio volume here, master volume, menu volume settings, and then game, that's in-app volume settings. The important one I want to call out here is sound effects. If you go to a world and there's a video that's playing too loud, or there's ambient sound effects in the world that are too loud maybe to talk, you can't hear other people, and you can just turn that slider down to a comfortable setting where you can actually carry on a conversation. Below that, here we have microphone, and I can actually use these arrow keys here to set the microphone that VRChat's using. If no one can hear you, it may be because you don't have the right microphone selected here. Finally, we have player height. And so this is actually used, like if you see an avatar that's always maybe crouching a little bit or always on its tippy toes, that may just be because your player height is set incorrectly. As you can see, I've got mine set to my correct height of 7 feet 5 inches. And finally, we have the log out and exit VRChat buttons at the bottom. If I hit log out, that will log me out of my account, but leave me back in VRChat. Sorry, it'll leave me still in VRChat so I can log back in with another account. And then I have exit VRChat here. And if I select that, that'll take me out of the app altogether. All right, well, I hope this has been useful for you, and happy VR chatting, everyone.